What's up everyone? Today I have a brand new power supply here to show you from Be Quiet. This is the 80 plus gold certified 550 watt Pure Power 11 FM. And that FM right there stands for fully modular. Now Be Quiet's selling this model for around 89 US dollars, and that actually sounds pretty good considering the fact that it's giving you a fully modular design and it's able to hit that 80 plus gold level efficiency. Before we get the box open, I just want to quickly explain where the Pure Power 11 fits into Be Quiet's power supply lineup. At the high end, there's the Dark Power series, and that packs in all their best technology combined with titanium level efficiency and also insanely high wattages. Right in the middle, they've got the Straight Power series that offers platinum level efficiency, and it also combines that with some enhanced cooling features. And then they've got this Essential category that aims for good performance, low noise, and just overall good value. And that's where the Pure Power 11 FM fits in. It's not entry level, they've got the System Power series for that, but at the same time, it's not quite positioned as premium or high end. The packaging's pretty normal as far as power supplies go, nothing really fancy or special to see here. This one does come with a seal sticker on it, so we'll go ahead and remove that first. As soon as you open the box, you're greeted with the user's manual. And by the way, they do make this Pure Power 11 series in a few different models. We've got the 550 here, but there's also a 650 and 750 watt that you can check out if your system needs a little more power. There's a few different languages covered in here, which is kind of helpful if you need to go through the manual. You've got a cable breakdown and layout inside here as well, and a space to keep some notes. Does anybody make notes in their user's manual when they get a power supply? I've never done that, but it's there if you want to. But yeah, pretty straightforward stuff. It's a power supply. If you need to check the manual, it's right here. Underneath this compartment, we should have all of our cables here. Starting with this is the standard power cable that plugs into the wall and then into the back of the unit. We've got a plastic package with all of our different actual power supply cables. For now, I'm just gonna get these out and we'll take a closer look at them in just a second. There's a little package here with 4 mounting screws to get the power supply installed in your case. And the unit comes all wrapped up in some bubble wrap material, and it's actually also taped here. And there it is. So this is a split rail power supply, meaning that it has dual 12 volt rails, and it shows that right here on the side. You've got 12 volt rail number 1 and then number 2, and they're both capable of producing the combined 550 watts of max power for this particular unit. If we flip it over and take a look at the opposite side, it just says Be Quiet, and that's like a nice, it's kind of like a beveled logo that sticks out. There's no sticker here or anything, but there's a little bit of branding there and it looks pretty good. On this side, we've got a 120 millimeter cooling fan, and this is not one of their high-end Silent Wings 3 fans, but still it is custom tuned to be as quiet as possible. If you want to step up to the Straight Power series, you can actually get a Silent Wings fan built right in, but this model does not come with that in the Essential series. But based on Be Quiet's testing data, this unit is actually pretty quiet, and I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, the company's called Be Quiet, so I think it'd be a little bit weird if they made power supplies and other stuff that was like super loud. Let's flip it over and take a look at the back side. So this is the part that's going to be visible. It's going to show towards the back side of your case. So this is where it mounts. There's 4 screw holes right here. And the whole thing is ventilated because the way the power supply works is that it intakes cool air through the cooling fan, runs it all over the hot components, and then exhausts the hot air out the back side of the case. So that's what we've got here. That's why you can see all these holes. And then we've got our on-off toggle switch there. And then this plug is for the main power cable where you plug into the wall to get your feed in. And then we've got this little sticker here that says 100 to 200 volt AC. So it will work with both 100 and 240 volt AC power. But what's cool is you don't actually have a switch here to toggle between the two because it's an automatic switching power supply. So it makes that switch for you as it detects the voltage that's coming in. Flipping it over one more time, this is the side that has all your connectors for your modular cables. So you can see we've got 3 drive connectors, and these are all labeled, which is nice to have. 3 drive connectors, 2 PCI Express connectors for graphics cards. This is for the 24-pin motherboard connector, and then a CPU power connector as well. So this is our main 24-pin power feed for the motherboard, and the side that has the splitter is the one that's going to plug into the modular side of the power supply, and then the solid one goes into your motherboard. It's a nice solid feeling cable. It's got a nice black sleeve on it, and it's actually pretty flexible, which really helps with cable management and to get cables routed through your case. The next cable has a bunch of drive connectors on it. So this is the end that plugs into the power supply. And then we've got 1, 2 SATA connectors, 2 standard Molex connectors, and then this actually looks like a floppy connector. So if you've got a really old school floppy drive in your system, you can use that, but there's also other stuff that uses the floppy drive power connector, and that's probably why it's there. Can't imagine too many people are building systems in 2021 with a floppy drive, but anyways, that's there if you happen to have one or something else that needs that power connector. This is another drive power cable. So you've got the connector for the power supply, and then 1, 2, 3 SATA connectors for SATA drives, SSDs, stuff like that. And here's even more SATA connectors. So here's the connection for the power supply, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 more SATA connectors. So I think it's pretty safe to say you're not gonna run out of these with your system. So if you've got like 1 million solid state drives that need these connectors, this power supply's got you covered. So these 2 cables are exactly the same, and they're for your PCI Express graphics card connectors. These larger connections on this side of the cable plug into the modular end of the power supply. And then over here, we've got 6+2 pin PCI Express power connectors here for graphics cards. So there are 2 of them, which means you can technically support 2 graphics cards if they only require 6 or 8 pin connectors. But keep in mind, this unit that I'm showing you is 550 watts, so it's not really the best or enough wattage for 2 like really powerful graphics cards. You're gonna wanna step up your wattage and look for one of the bigger units if you've got multiple graphics cards in your system. This is the last cable that came with this power supply, and it's for your CPU power. So this end with the 10 pins is the connection for the power supply unit, and then this is the part that plugs into your motherboard. It's labeled CPU, and it's a single 8-pin connector, but it can actually split into 2 4-pin connectors if you just pull them apart. Just like that, it comes apart, and then you've got dual 4-pin CPU power connectors. There are some lower end or low powered CPUs, I should say, that'll use a 4-pin power connector only, but a lot of CPUs these days are gonna ask you for an 8-pin connector, which you can do with this, but some want even more than that, like a 8+4 pin or even dual 8 pin sometimes. So this 550 watt unit is not going to be capable of delivering that. So just keep that in mind. If you've got a motherboard that requires 8+4 or dual 8 pin connectors, you're going to want to look at one of the other models that offers more power. All the cables feel like they're really high quality and well made. And I like the fact that it's an all black color scheme, kind of keeps the case and the build looking nice and clean. So if you've got a window on there, hopefully it keeps everything looking pretty good and consistent throughout. And I do like the fact that these are flat cables. I think they're easy to route, and they're easy to kind of tuck out of the way in your build rather than like the big round ones that you usually get with power supplies. Kind of like this guy, the 24-pin connector. This is the only one that's not flat. You don't typically see flat cables with the 24-pin, but they did put this nice mesh wrapping on it, so it's still nice and should be easy to kind of hide and blend into your build as well. So that's pretty much it. This is what you get with the Be Quiet Pure Power 11 fully modular series power supplies. This is the 550 watt model selling for $89 US, but they've got the 650 watt for around $99 and the 750 watt for around $115 US. So if you need a bit more power, make sure you check those ones out. Overall, I really like this series. It's supposed to be an affordable series that offers really good features at the same time, and that's exactly what it looks like to me. It's got a nice solid build, the cables are nice quality, it looks good, and it gives you that 80+ gold certification. So I'm gonna throw some purchasing links for these down in the description of this video. Make sure you check them out if you're interested, and come back soon because there's a lot more content on the way. See ya.